Picture this. You walk into a room, not saying much, not trying to impress anyone, yet somehow the energy shifts. People notice, eyes follow. You're not the loudest, you're not the flashiest, but there's something about you, something steady, grounded, untouchable. That's confidence. And the irony is, it has almost nothing to do with women, and everything to do with what you've mastered inside your own mind. Because every truly confident man knows one secret about women that most guys never learn. He knows that attraction isn't about what he gives to her, it's about what he refuses to give away, his energy, his validation, his emotional center. Most men think women fall for effort, for compliments, for attention, but what women really respond to is gravity. The calm, grounded energy of a man who doesn't need to chase because he knows who he is. And here's the twist. Most men lose that energy the moment they see a woman they like. They give away their frame instantly. Suddenly, they're no longer centered. Their tone changes. Their words bend to please. They try to perform to earn approval, to appear impressive. And in that subtle shift, attraction dies. Because what women feel in that moment isn't love, it's pressure. They sense the loss of leadership, the collapse of presence, the desperation behind the performance. You see, confidence isn't what you project, it's what you protect. It's the ability to stay yourself in the presence of desire, to not let attraction turn into anxiety. That's the secret every confident man knows about women. She doesn't fall for how much you want her. She falls for how little her approval can shake you. Think about the times you felt most magnetic. Maybe it was when you were focused on your purpose, when you weren't even thinking about women, when you were so absorbed in something that mattered that everything around you seemed to orbit your energy. That's confidence, an unspoken message that says, I am complete. And that energy is irresistible because it communicates emotional independence. When a man's happiness depends on a woman's response, she feels that weight. When a man's happiness depends on his own mission, she feels that freedom, and women are drawn to freedom. They can sense when a man's world doesn't revolve around them, but he's still willing to share it with them. That combination, detachment and warmth, is what triggers attraction on the deepest level. But here's what most men get wrong. They think confidence means dominance, control, or coldness. They think they have to act like they don't care, when the truth is that real confidence doesn't act, it simply is. A confident man can care deeply without losing himself. He can love a woman without worshipping her. He can listen without collapsing into need. And that balance, that emotional stillness, is what separates men who attract from men who chase. Women are emotional detectors. They sense insecurity before you say a word. They can feel when your attention is born from curiosity versus emptiness. They can tell when you're looking at them as a person or as a prize, and when you operate from emptiness. They test you not out of cruelty, but out of instinct. They push to see if you'll break, if your confidence is real, or if it's performance. That's why confident men never flinch. They know that tests aren't rejection, they're calibration. A woman doesn't test a man she's not intrigued by. She tests a man she senses potential in. But the average man fails those tests because he takes them personally. He gets defensive, emotional, reactive. He tries to argue his worth instead of embodying it. The confident man, on the other hand, stays calm. He doesn't need to explain his value because he lives it. He knows that her momentary coldness doesn't define his worth. He knows her attraction isn't linear, it's emotional, and emotions fluctuate. He gives her space to swing without losing his balance. That's what makes him different. He doesn't chase connection, he allows it. He doesn't rush to prove, he waits to reveal. He doesn't overtalk, he observes. He doesn't need to control because he trusts himself enough to let life unfold. Women can feel that trust. It's like standing next to someone who doesn't panic when the ground shakes. That's the kind of energy that creates safety, and safety is the foundation of desire. The confident man's secret isn't a tactic, it's an energy. He's not chasing attraction, he's maintaining alignment. He's mastered the art of emotional non-reactivity, not the kind that's cold or distant, but the kind that's deeply aware. When he looks at a woman, he sees her, but he also sees himself. He's not trying to win her, he's seeing if she fits into his world. That's what women feel, but can't articulate. They'll call it mystery, magnetism, chemistry, but what they're really feeling is balance, the pull of a man who doesn't need them to feel whole. And that's the moment you stop being the man who seeks validation and become the man who gives direction. Because when your presence feels like home, she won't want to leave. Every confident man started as the opposite. At some point, he was the guy overthinking every text, waiting for replies, and walking on eggshells trying to say the right thing. He thought being liked was a skill, that connection was earned through effort, that attraction was built through logic. But then he learned the hard way that attraction doesn't respond to logic, it responds to emotion. You can't convince someone to feel something real, and the more you try, the more you suffocate the very energy that creates desire. This is where most men lose themselves. They enter the interaction already disqualified in their mind. They think the woman is the prize and they are the one auditioning. So they perform. They overcompensate. They overshare. They talk too much, explain too much, give too much. They turn every moment into a negotiation for approval. And in that process, they communicate one powerful message: I need you to validate me. That's the moment attraction dies, because confidence isn't built in how you act around women. It's built in what you believe about yourself when no one's watching. A confident man doesn't chase validation because he's already built internal evidence that he's enough. It's not arrogance, it's self-certainty. He's done the work to understand that his worth doesn't increase when someone likes him, and it doesn't decrease when someone doesn't. That's why he can move through rejection with grace. That's why he can flirt with a sense of play, not pressure. What most men don't realize is that women can feel the emotional weight behind every interaction. When your energy says, please like me, she feels it before you say a word. When your energy says, I'm already good, she feels that too. You don't need to fake detachment. You need to embody independence. You can't trick the subconscious. Confidence isn't pretending not to care, it's caring without fear. Let's take a real example. Picture two men in the same scenario. Both see a woman they find attractive. The first man starts thinking immediately, what should I say? How can I make her laugh? What if she rejects me? His mind floods with anticipation and fear. He's already lost the frame before he's taken a step. The second man sees her too, but he doesn't pedestalize her. He's curious, not anxious. He's open, not calculating. He walks over because he wants to see if there's a connection, not because he needs one. His energy is exploratory, not needy, and she feels that difference instantly. One man radiates tension, the other radiates presence. One is chasing validation, the other is expressing himself. That's the essence of attraction psychology. Women don't fall for effort, they fall for state. The emotional state you're in determines the emotional state she feels around you. If you're nervous, she feels nervous. If you're calm, she relaxes. If you're uncertain, she tests. If you're grounded, she surrenders. Emotional energy is contagious, and the confident man knows this, so he guards his state like it's sacred. He doesn't give his peace away because someone didn't respond. He doesn't let someone else's mood rewrite his. He leads emotionally. That's what presence means. It's not about pretending to be unaffected. It's about knowing that you can handle whatever comes. That's why confident men are so magnetic. They don't control the environment, they stabilize it. When things get tense, they slow down. When things get quiet, they don't rush to fill the space. When a woman pulls away, they don't chase, they breathe. And in that stillness, something powerful happens. She starts to feel safe, because safety is not comfort, it's trust. Trust that your emotions won't be dictated by hers. A man who can hold his frame in the face of emotional chaos is a man every woman remembers, not because he said the perfect line, but because he gave her something rare, a taste of emotional leadership. That's the real secret. Women don't want to lead emotionally. They want to feel your stability, your clarity, your groundedness. Not control, not dominance, just certainty. The kind that says, no matter what happens, I'm good. But here's where many men sabotage themselves. They confuse emotional leadership with control. They think confidence means manipulation, being stoic, acting above emotion. But true confidence isn't detachment, it's depth. You can feel deeply and still stay balanced. You can be soft without being weak. You can care without collapsing. The confident man feels everything, but he chooses what defines him. That's why women are drawn to him. He's not just emotionally strong, he's emotionally fluent. He doesn't panic when a woman shows her intensity. He doesn't label her emotions as drama. He meets her emotion with structure. He's the calm in her storm, not because he resists it, but because he understands it. He knows that her energy, her emotion, her chaos, they're not threats to his masculinity. They're invitations to rise into it. You see, women don't test men to break them. They test men to find them. They want to feel the edge where your calm meets their chaos, where your truth meets their emotion. Because when she finds that edge, she can finally relax. She can finally trust. That's the secret every confident man carries. The realization that attraction isn't something you chase. It's something you create by staying grounded in who you are. And when you embody that energy, you stop asking what to say, what to text, or how to act. Because the answer is always the same: stay still in your truth. Confidence doesn't start in the body, it starts in the mind. Every confident man you've ever met, every man who walks into a room and instantly changes the atmosphere, has one thing in common: he's learned to control his inner world before trying to influence the outer one. His calm isn't a pose, it's a discipline. His steadiness doesn't come from arrogance, it comes from mastery. Most men try to build confidence backward. They think it's about looks, status, or clever words. They think they'll feel confident once they get the girl, the money, or the recognition. But that's not confidence. That's dependency in disguise. Real confidence is when your peace can't be taken away because it's not built on something external. You've stopped renting your worth to the opinions of others. You own it. A confident man has made peace with solitude. He's not afraid of being alone because he's already faced his own silence. He's sat with his thoughts long enough to stop fearing them. He's failed enough times to stop pretending success defines him. He's been rejected enough times to realize rejection doesn't kill him. It clarifies him. That's where real power is born. In the moments where other men crumble and you simply breathe. When you're no longer ruled by fear, you stop performing. You don't need to chase women because you're too focused on chasing excellence. You don't need to beg for love because you understand that genuine connection is never a transaction. You don't give energy to people who drain you because your time and peace have become sacred currency. Every decision, every word, every look begins to carry intention. That's what women feel when they say a man has presence. Presence isn't about dominance, it's about awareness. It's when you walk into a room and you're fully there, your attention isn't scattered, your mind isn't racing, you're grounded. You notice everything, but you're not overwhelmed by anything. You're not trying to impress, and that's why you impress effortlessly. It's the paradox of magnetism. The more you try to attract, the more you repel. The more you let go, the more you draw in. Women sense presence like animals sense energy. You can't fake it. You can't learn it in a course or memorize it from a book. It comes from embodiment, from living a life where your words, actions, and emotions align. When you say something, you mean it. When you look at someone, you see them. When you make a decision, you stand by it. That kind of integrity creates a signal few can ignore. You might think women are attracted to looks or status, but those are just surface triggers. What they're really drawn to is certainty. Not arrogance, but emotional direction. They want to feel that you know who you are, that you're not waiting for permission to be that man. When you have that certainty, you give her something she can't find in herself, stability, and stability is the most intoxicating energy on earth. But let's make something clear. Confidence is not about perfection. It's not about never feeling doubt. Even the most confident men feel fear, hesitation, vulnerability. The difference is that they don't let those feelings run the show. They acknowledge them, then act anyway. They move through fear instead of trying to avoid it. They don't fight their insecurities. They integrate them. That's why their energy feels complete. A man who hides his flaws is fragile. A man who owns them is unbreakable. When you stop pretending to be invincible, you become authentic. And authenticity is far more powerful than any strategy or trick. Women don't connect with perfection. They connect with truth. They don't want a flawless man. They want a man who's real enough to be felt. Because when you're real, you give her permission to be real too. Every confident man understands that emotional leadership doesn't mean control. It means direction. It means you don't get pulled into every storm. You don't match chaos with chaos. You bring rhythm, not rigidity. You don't fight to dominate. You guide through calm. And when you bring that kind of energy into a relationship, something beautiful happens. A woman doesn't have to fight for control anymore. She can relax into her natural femininity because she feels the steadiness she's been craving. That's the unspoken dynamic behind attraction. Polarity. Masculine energy leads, feminine energy responds. But leadership isn't about superiority, it's about responsibility. You lead not because you're better, but because you're grounded. You hold the structure so she can flow. And when that balance exists, love stops being a power struggle. It becomes harmony. Think about it. Every time you've lost your frame, every time you've chased validation, every time you've overreacted to a test, it was because you forgot this truth. You can't lead someone else when you're lost inside yourself. The confident man never forgets that. He doesn't need to win arguments. He doesn't need to prove his dominance. His power lies in restraint. His authority is silent. He's not louder than chaos. He's calmer than it. That's the state every man should strive for. Not the image of confidence, but the experience of it. The ability to be still when the world is shaking. The ability to stay warm when someone goes cold. The ability to keep your heart open without letting it be trampled. That's confidence, not just a skill for dating, but a philosophy for living. And once you've tasted that level of peace, you stop craving the temporary highs of external validation. You start craving truth, growth, and alignment, because nothing feels better than looking in the mirror and knowing that the man staring back doesn't flinch. When you finally reach that point, something subtle but powerful begins to happen. You stop chasing attraction, and attraction starts chasing you. Not because you're trying to prove anything, but because your energy becomes undeniable. You've stepped out of the realm of trying to impress and into the realm of simply expressing. You're no longer seeking connection through performance. You're creating it through presence. And that difference is everything. People begin to feel it before they even understand it. Your friends notice that you speak less, but say more. Strangers respond differently when you make eye contact. Women sense something in your tone, something steady, confident, and unhurried. They can feel that your words come from still water, not a restless current. That stillness is rare. It's what separates men who attract attention from men who command it. Because confidence doesn't shout, it resonates. Women are drawn to that resonance instinctively. They can sense when a man is emotionally independent, when he's not looking for someone to fill him, but willing to share the abundance that's already there. Most men try to impress women by showing them what they can give. Confident men impress women by showing them what they can hold. They can hold tension without panic. They can hold silence without discomfort. They can hold space for emotion without losing themselves in it. That's the emotional gravity of a confident man. He doesn't try to control the interaction. He contains it. His calmness sets the tone, and people adjust to his rhythm without even realizing it. That's why confident men lead effortlessly. They don't force energy, they stabilize it. When a woman is around that kind of energy, her nervous system relaxes. She feels safe enough to express, to be playful, to open up. It's not about dominance, it's about safety. That's what most men miss. They confuse safety with comfort. But safety isn't about making her comfortable all the time. It's about making her trust your steadiness. She needs to feel that your mood won't change with hers, that your self-esteem won't collapse because she withdraws for a day, that your energy won't break just because the situation gets intense. She's not looking for perfection, she's looking for a foundation. A confident man becomes that foundation, not through control, but through composure. Confidence is quiet power. It's when your energy says, I know who I am, and I know what I'm building. It's when you stop reacting to everything and start responding with intention. That kind of calm doesn't come from arrogance, it comes from alignment. You've stopped trying to prove your worth because you've built it from the inside out. You've stopped seeking balance through others because you've created it within yourself. This kind of energy transforms how you connect with women. You stop overanalyzing every message, every signal, every silence. You stop wondering what she's thinking because you're too focused on what you're becoming. You stop playing games not because you can't, but because you see how small they are compared to the game of life you're playing now. You're building, not chasing. You're choosing, not begging. And that's exactly what makes you magnetic. A confident man doesn't need to win every interaction. He's fine with walking away if something doesn't align. That indifference isn't born from coldness, it's born from clarity. He knows his energy is valuable. He knows his peace is priceless, and he's no longer willing to trade it for temporary attention. That's what every man must learn, the difference between connection and consumption. Most people consume each other for validation. Confident people connect to elevate. When you carry that energy, women treat you differently. They respect your time because they can feel you respect it. They listen more deeply because they can sense you're not trying to convince them of anything. You're not chasing outcomes, you're revealing truth. And truth is magnetic because it's rare. You stop being addicted to being liked. You become addicted to being real. And the more real you are, the more the right people appear, the more the wrong people fade. You no longer force chemistry because you understand that chemistry without respect is chaos. Attraction without alignment is destruction. A woman can sense when a man values his peace more than her approval. It doesn't make her feel rejected. It makes her feel intrigued. Because deep down, every woman wants to be around a man who cannot be swayed by temporary emotions. A man who doesn't collapse when she tests his edge. A man who can love her fully without losing himself in the process. That's the essence of masculine energy. Not control, not detachment, but unwavering direction. You stop asking what do women want and start asking who do I want to be? Because the moment you answer that question, attraction takes care of itself. The woman who aligns with your energy will find you, and the ones who don't will fade naturally. You don't need to chase love when you've become the kind of man who radiates it. Confidence at its core is truth embodied. It's when your mind, your words, and your actions move in harmony. It's when you stop pretending and start existing as you are. You don't hide your flaws, you own them. You don't chase perfection, you live with purpose. You don't need to be chosen because you've already chosen yourself. And once you reach that level of awareness, something clicks inside you. You realize that women aren't mysteries to be solved. They're reflections of how you show up. They respond to your energy, not your words. They trust your presence, not your promises. And when that presence is grounded, calm, and unwavering, everything else falls into place. You wake up one day and realize that the game is over. Not because you won it, but because you outgrew it. You're no longer chasing women, validation, or attention. You're chasing peace, purpose, and alignment. You've stopped caring about being the most liked man in the room because now you understand something deeper. Confidence was never about being wanted, it was about being whole. That's the secret every confident man knows about women. He knows that attraction isn't something you get by trying harder. It's something that happens naturally when you've mastered yourself. When you walk through the world with that kind of energy, you don't need tricks, lines, or tactics. You don't need to read signals or memorize strategies. You don't need to calculate what to say or when to say it. You simply exist as yourself, and that's enough. The confident man doesn't need to pretend to be mysterious, because truth itself is mysterious. He doesn't have to act unbothered, because he genuinely is. He doesn't need to play games, because he's already playing at a level where games look childish. You start to see women differently. You stop seeing them as rewards for effort, and start seeing them as mirrors of your own energy. You realize that every interaction reflects your inner state. If you meet a woman who's cold, maybe you're being closed off. If you meet one who's anxious, maybe your energy is uncertain. If you attract one who's grounded and feminine, it's because your presence made her feel safe enough to be that way. That's the quiet, powerful truth. Women don't create your energy, they respond to it. And that's where real power begins. Because when you understand this, you stop reacting to the world and start directing it. You become intentional with your focus. You stop giving energy to people who drain you. You stop explaining yourself to those who misunderstand you. You stop chasing what's temporary and start investing in what's timeless. That's the level of awareness where attraction becomes effortless. It's not magic, it's alignment. When your life is built on purpose, your energy becomes magnetic. When you're honest, people feel safe around you. When you're disciplined, your presence commands respect. When you're calm, others relax in your company. That's what women feel when they meet a truly confident man. They can sense that he's not operating from need, he's operating from fullness. His life doesn't revolve around them, but it expands beautifully when they fit into it. And the beautiful paradox is that once you stop trying to make women like you, they start liking you more, because now you've become the embodiment of something rare in modern relationships: stability. The world is full of men chasing reactions, but few who can hold stillness. Most men look for excitement. Confident men create peace, and peace in a chaotic world is irresistible. This doesn't mean you become indifferent or emotionless. Confidence doesn't make you numb, it makes you more alive. You start feeling everything without fear of losing control. You can love deeply without attachment, desire passionately without desperation, and give freely without expectation. That's emotional maturity disguised as mystery. Women sense that and feel drawn to it, not because you're better, but because you're balanced. The secret every confident man knows is this: women don't fall for what you do, they fall for how you make them feel about themselves. And the way you make them feel depends entirely on how you feel about you. If you move through life anxious, they'll mirror that uncertainty. If you move through life grounded, they'll mirror that trust. If you move through life with purpose, they'll want to be part of that journey. The confident man isn't chasing women, he's chasing mastery. He's becoming sharper, wiser, and calmer. He's not obsessed with attraction because he's too focused on evolution. And ironically, that's what makes him so magnetic, because purpose is the ultimate aphrodisiac. Every woman can sense when a man has something bigger than her to live for. She doesn't want to be his entire world, she wants to orbit a world that already has gravity. So you keep building, you stay disciplined, you stay focused, you refine your energy until your presence speaks louder than your words. You don't need to prove anything anymore. The way you live becomes your proof, and the woman who's meant for you won't be drawn to your niceness, or your looks, or your effort. She'll be drawn to your energy, the stillness, the power, the direction. She'll feel it the moment you walk in, the same way the air changes before a storm. You finally understand that confidence isn't loud or performative. It's silent and undeniable. It's the calm in your voice when others panic. It's the patience in your actions when others rush. It's the way you move through life knowing that nothing and no one can take your center from you, because you built it from the inside out. And when you reach that level of being, something incredible happens. You stop asking, "What do women want?" Because you already know. They want to feel the same peace, power, and freedom that you've built within yourself. That's the secret every confident man knows. You don't attract women by trying to be everything they want. You attract them by becoming everything you are. That's the moment you stop playing small, stop performing, and start living as the man you were meant to be. You stop chasing love and start radiating it. You stop searching for meaning in others and start becoming meaning itself, because the confident man doesn't chase, doesn't compete, doesn't beg. He simply stands tall in who he is.